You are enjoying the contrast of your time and place that gives birth to continuing new desires.
Yes.
And you are realizing that as those new desires are born within you, that they emanate from you as a vibrational rocket, and they become in and of themselves a new point of attraction that draws energy to them through you. Well, if you heard that, you're on the leading edge of thought. Because most people, even who come to a gathering like this, where they are wanting to be the deliberate creator of their own experience, have a very scanty idea of how it all comes about. You see, you are source energy in these physical bodies. So much more source energy, so much more vibration than the flesh, blood, and bone that you see or recognize as you. So this source energy expresses itself into this leading edge time-space reality and into that which you know as you. You pretty much know that part, the you part. So then, you move through your days, having exposure to contrast, all kinds of things, wanted and not wanted. And out of it, you do exactly what you knew you would do when you decided to come forth. You gather the data, and you do something that you cannot help but do. You do something that everyone does. You evaluate the data at many levels of your being, and you come to your own personal preferences. In other words, you know by what you don't want more what you do want. It's just a constant process of you coming to conclusions. Whether you speak them out loud or not, they are happening. So let's recap. You are source energy. You expressed part of that consciousness into this body. You exposed this body as you knew you would to contrast, which gives birth to a continuing stream of new ideas. Now here's where it really gets good. As you give birth to this stream of new ideas, that stream or that idea, that desire, the source energy that was you before you were born rides that rocket. In other words, the expanded non-physical part of you literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what life in this body has caused you to ask for. Do you hear how important that is? That means that through you, source expands. That means that because of your willingness to come forth and bang around with others and explore all that's going on, that you uniquely and precisely and in an attitude of more worthiness than we could ever find enough words to express to you, you come to an expanded decision about who you are and what you want. And the larger non-physical part of you becomes it immediately. So, let's recap. You are source energy. You come forth into a physical body. In this physical body, you explore. From the exploration, you come to your personal conclusions of what you prefer, and the source energy part of you immediately becomes the vibrational equivalent of that. Now, here's where it really gets good. Law of attraction, the most powerful law in the universe, which is responding to the vibration of that which is around, is now responding to the vibration of that newly revised, newly evolved you. And while you're not responding to it exactly euphorically as we present it to you right now, you should be. Because that means that the expanded version of you is standing and law of attraction is responding to that, which is creating a powerful current or stream that is calling you forward. You hear people talking about the call of source. You hear people talking about, I want to find my path. And we want you to understand that it's not only about finding your path, it's about creating your path. So let's recap. So you are non-physical energy, and you set forth an intention to be in this physical body because you know it is the leading edge of thought. You know that it is the furthest most edge of all of the universe, and you want to participate within it. So you come forth into this physical experience, and as you do, you bang around and you give birth to desires, which the non-physical part of you becomes, and now you have an option. You can go with the flow of that which the larger part of you has, Or you can hold yourself in a sort of ornery, obstinate separation, too strong of word, separation, too strong of word, separation, too strong of word, gap. You hold yourself vibrationally apart to some degree of that which you have become. And when you do that, you feel that separation, too strong of word. But you get the sense of it. You feel it through your emotions. In other words, the better you feel, the more you have gone with you. The worse you feel, the more you're not going with you. Now, many would say, well, why would not I go? Makes no sense. If I am source energy and I know what I want and I have offered this rocket of desire and the larger part of me has become it, then why wouldn't I just go? And we say, we're here to ask you that. Why don't you go? Imagine taking your boat down to the river's edge. It's a canoe or a rubber raft and the paddles are already inside. And it's a fast-moving river, and you put your boat in the river and you immediately turn it upstream and begin paddling very hard against the current. And we say, why not turn and go with the flow? And invariably our human friends will say, oh, Abraham, that just seems lazy. And anyway, everybody I know that's worth anything is like me, pointed upstream and paddling hard, and we're good at it. Have you noticed? We're very good at it. Look at the aerodynamics of our boat and look at my muscles. Look how strong I have become. And anyway, if I want a monument in my name after I'm dead, I have to do that, because everybody that is ever acknowledged as worth anything has to at least try. And the harder they try, oh, and if you really try hard and don't succeed, they put up really big monuments. And anyway, our physical friends then tell us, we've heard that there are many more rewards after we die if we pay a very good big price. And we listen patiently because we know the whole story. So when you know the end of the story, you don't get too worried in the scary parts. And then we say, nothing that you want is upstream. Nothing, not one thing that you want is upstream where you are paddling. It's all downstream. And do you know why we know that? We know that because we know the whole story. We saw you in your non-physical form giving birth to rockets of desires which equaled your physical human equivalent on planet Earth, leading edge, time, space, reality. We've watched you sift through the contrast and give birth to rockets of desire. And every time, even the slightest little preference is born within you or anyone. This is what the evolution of all species is about. Every time an improved desire is born within you, the source energy part of you becomes it and stands there in vibrational holding of it, calling you toward it. And when you go in the direction of it, you feel wonderful. And when you don't feel so good. We want you to come to the place where you are recognizing who you really are. You're like a two-headed monster, and we just want both heads to go in the same direction. And when you are going in the direction of who you are, you feel so wonderful. Some of you have been listening to us for a while, and you are aware that we've been talking about emotions and how you must pay attention to your emotions if you are to have any conscious control of your relationship with Source, of your relationship with your own desires and dreams and goals. In other words, your emotions give you vibrational feedback that lets you know whether or not you are in alignment with who you have become or not. And sometimes, as we visit with you about this, and we talk about how on one end of this emotional scale there are emotions that feel wonderful, like joy and love and appreciation. That's where passion is. And on the other end of this emotional scale are feelings like depression or fear. On the good feeling end is your awareness of your empowerment, your personal power. And on the not good feeling end is your perception of disempowerment or not freedom. And of course, there are so many different labels that have been assigned to all of those feelings in between. So as you listen to us for a while, banging on and on and on about emotions and encouraging you toward the good feeling end of this scale, many of you now, as you hear us talking about this stream, which is created by your desires, this powerful stream that will carry you toward all things that you want. Many of you think, Oh, I get it. So over there where it feels good is where I belong, and over here where it feels bad is not. So I will just turn my boat around, put a motor on it, and get over there as fast as I can to those good feeling emotions. And we say, if you still believe that, you've missed the point of the stream. You don't have to put your motor on your boat. You don't even have to turn your boat around. Just drop the oars. Just stop paddling upstream. And when you stop paddling upstream, the stream will carry you to who you really are. So many of you have been approaching your life from an action-oriented basis, not being aware of what the underlying vibration was within you. And when you offer action while your vibration has you pointed upstream, the action doesn't net you the results that you want, which is what makes you then believe you must try harder. But if you will tend to the vibration of your being first, so that you're moving in the natural direction of what you want, then not only will action be far less significant to you, but that you can then begin to use the action in the way you intended to as you came forth to begin with, which is the way you reap the benefit of the power of the stream. It's the way you enjoy the creation that you've done with your vibrational alignment. Vibrational alignment is the name of this creative game. You are vibrational beings. You're so good at it, you don't even know you're doing it. What you see with your eyes is a vibrational interpretation. What you hear with your ears is a vibrational interpretation. Even your nose and fingertips and tongue are interpreting vibration. And so when you realize that you're just so good at it, and then you recognize that you have another interpreter, your emotions, your solar plexus, your gut feeling, your gut instinct, when you get a handle on that, then you can, for the first time ever, consciously quantify your own journey. We watch you. Jerry and Esther travel about constantly, and as they move from place to place, they're not confused about where they're going. They go from Phoenix to San Diego, and they know it's 400 miles, point west, and keep going, and you'll get there. And even though most of the journey they're out in the desert, they'd rather be in San Diego, they don't get discouraged because the journey is understandable. Point that way, what you want's over there, keep going, you gotta get there. But there are so many journeys that so many of you are upon, like the journey from sickness to wellness, or the journey from not enough money to plenty of money, or the journey of no relationship to a wonderful relationship, or a rotten relationship to an improved relationship. But you are, for the most part, not doing a good job of quantifying that journey. So you're all over the place. Can you imagine Jerry and Esther heading off for San Diego? They leave Phoenix. They're on their way. They're out in the desert. They're about halfway, Yuma. And now they don't want to be in Yuma. There's no place to eat in Yuma. They don't want to be in Yuma. They don't want to be in Yuma. And getting so upset about being in Yuma that they get disoriented and turn around and go back to Phoenix. Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma, Phoenix, Yuma. And then they would pronounce to anyone interested, San Diego is an impossible dream. San Diego is incurable. You're laughing. You think that's funny, and you do it all the time. Relative to other things, we see you. You're well along the way. You're moving along just right in the direction of what life has caused you to become. You get how that works. All day, every day, you're giving birth to more rockets, and the source energy part of you is becoming. And law of attraction is responding to that expanded version of you and calling you toward it. And when you go, even when you think about going, even when you sort of kind of begin to go, you feel better. But when you're turned in opposition of that, that's when you don't feel good. So as we are moving forward here today, we'll talk about the different emotions along this emotional scale, and all of them are wonderful, and together you humans worldwide with all of your languages have labeled these emotions with thousands of different words that are descriptive of these gut feelings that you have. But we want you to begin focusing upon one word only, one emotion. It's the only emotion that you really need to be aware of, and that is the emotion of relief. Because in the moment that you let go of those oars, the stream will turn you. And in the moment that you begin moving, even in the slightest toward what you're wanting, you feel the relief. You know that. You've lived here. You're in traffic. You know what it feels like. Jerry and Esther are sitting there in traffic. They have some place they need to be, someone they're going to meet, and they've left plenty early, and they are in your city, and they are sitting there, and the traffic is not moving.